It's the 5th of December, 2024. And I just want to show you that on the 20th of November, I was violently assaulted. And I am still marked. I'm still marked up from the violence. They had detached the sadistic SWAT team to come over here and assault me without an endorsed warrant. This is now multiple times violations, gross violations of due process. You have to have a warrant for an arrest. You've arrested me twice. Once at the end of August, now once at the 20th of November, because I'm trying to do my job. Please excuse me, the lighting in here is horrific and I'm about to turn that light off, but I'm still all marked up. You should have seen how violent. The entire hallway was filled with death and hell. It stunk to high heavens. 1 second. Yeah, SWAT team. SWAT team is here. Can you even imagine? Sure you can. So do you know why they're here? Because I'm trying to save my life. There's a conspiracy around here to end me, to delete me, to unalive me. That's why they've stolen everything from me. This is the contract that I'm enforcing. They create these every day, all day. This is a natural person. It's a contract. It holds assets for the benefit of the beneficiary. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to go over this, but here's the problem. This is why I'm on here right now. They keep doing the same thing, like you're not listening. Let me explain something to you. I now have charges, yes, for doing my job. For doing my job and trying to save my own life. I am now being accused of being a fucking criminal. Please excuse the coarse language. It's a pain reliever. That's all it is. It's a pain reliever. I was tortured for 24 hours. Once they got me out of here, once they kidnapped me, I was forced to sit on ice cold, rock hard seating, which I can't do. It damages my kidneys. No water, no proper food. So they can assault me again with more charges. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. I'm not even kidding you. Well, we've got paperwork here. So at the end of August 29th, they pulled the same shit without a warrant. You have to have a warrant for an arrest. You can't just go around willy-nilly and kidnapping men and women and forcing them into these commercial contracts, which is exactly what they've done. So here's one here. They've tried to force me into a commercial contract on August the 30th while they're threatening me. I'm under duress. They're threatening me. They're intimidating me. They're like, if you don't agree to your own demise, if you don't agree to continue to allow mortgage fraud to happen, if you don't continue to agree to allow trespassing on your stolen property, then we're going to put you in a cage until we can, talk about why it is that we keep attacking you with malicious prosecutions. They do this to me all the time. I'm one of the targeted. I'm being gang stalked, and so this is why I come on here and I show my face and I explain what's happening to me. It's not because I want to do this, it's because I'm worried about everybody else that this is happening to, and you don't know what the fuck is happening to you and why it's happening to you and what is going on here. This is fucking insanity. So you have all these public servants who are literally committing identity theft. Like we've got right at the top of this release order, there is someone who is referring to themselves as a judge. Well, you're not a judge, you're a bencher, and you're a member of the bar. So your oath, first and foremost, is to the bar guild. And when you read through all these documents, it's quite obvious that you are already guilty. They've already decided that you're guilty by the way all of this garbage is worded. So this is August the 30th, right? And I haven't added my autograph to this. This is acknowledged in court. Well, yeah, I acknowledge that you can't get joinder with me because I don't consent to your offer to contract. You can't. Your contract here doesn't meet the elements of a contract. What benefit do I get from doing business with you? Oh, going to jail because I'm trying to save my own life? Yeah, I don't think so. So you have to read this garbage, right? Because so here we go. Consequences for non-compliance. So right off the bat we have you. Well, who is you? Who is you? I'm not a you. We are not a you. Who are you talking to? You're not talking to me. You. You're warned? Are you threatening me? Now you're intimidating me, now you're threatening me. Because you realize that there's 3 of them there, right? It's like triangulation. It's like strangulation. They're fucking strangling you with their fucking bullshit. Because here it comes. Every single one of them is a member of the bar. The person who's trying to pass himself off as a judge, that's not a judge. That's a bencher. And then you have a person who's identifying themselves as the public, the community. That's identity theft. So apparently these prosecutors don't work for the police and they don't work for the victim. No, they're there to represent the public. Right, so who then exactly is the victim here? Because I have the right to face the accuser. Because I know that I've done nothing wrong. I'm just trying to save my own life here, which I have an inalienable right to do. I need to go home. I've now been homeless for 5 fucking years. And they've treated me this way for decades. And I'm really tired, as you can well imagine. And I communicate this way because I have no energy for these phone calls. There's all these agencies that apparently have something to do with serving victims of crime and victims of fraud. There's all these agents, but when you call these agents and these agencies, they don't have a clue what to do. I send them emails. Did you come pick up the CCTV footage? You have over an hour of footage of criminals outfitted with fucking automatic weapons. They've got... You should have seen the shit I watched. You should have seen what they were up to. And you're here without an endorsed warrant. So you are warned. Oh, really? Are you warning me? You are warned that unless you have a lawful excuse... Oh, okay. So what's an excuse? Well, an excuse is a veiled lie. That's what an excuse is. A lawful excuse? So I'm supposed to... So I've been invited. On August the 30th, I am invited to attend it's a ritual. It's a religious ritual on the 5th of September. So on the 4th of September, I fire off all the lawful, not excuses, but lawful reasons why I won't be partaking in your shit show. Thanks for the invitation. I'm declining. And here's all the reasons why you're not going to find me there. You need to go fucking do something else with someone else because I'm rejecting your offer to contract. And here's why. So then what do they do on the 5th of September? Let's see here. Where is this piece of paper? Oh, because it's all about the paperwork, right? So here I have in my hand warrant for arrest. And this is, well, let's see, you've got a court clerk who it's identified itself here, and we have filed this. It's been filed, but we have no endorsement. Because you can't get an endorsement because you have been provided lawful reasons of why I will not be accepting your invitation for services. Which means that every single fucking time these... Okay, I can't go scorched earth here. Yeah, I'm going to challenge jurisdiction every single time. You are never going to get joinder. There is a person who has been assigned as an assistant, not a representative. We don't require representation, thank you. We do not identify as artificial persons, and we do not identify as corporations, and we do not identify as dead, and we do not identify as your fucking property, or your fucking subject, or your fucking slave. You get it? Got it? Good. No matter how long this takes, everything you have fucking stolen from me. And it's everything. So you have no endorsement for this warrant for arrest. So then why are there constant fucking phone calls, text messages, fucking satanic savages coming to the door, a door that is clearly marked do not disturb? This is going on for months, and then because I'm not going to allow myself to partake in their ritual abuse, in their constant crimes of criminal harassment, uttering threats, causing me to be in fear for my life, which is exactly what they're doing, and that is the grand plan. And so what happens is, here we have a criminal identified itself as Murray. We have gone and information to obtain an authorization or a warrant to enter a dwelling house. Well, I'm afraid you can't go and call up someone to help you with your hate crime, your violence, and your ugliness, because you would actually have to have an endorsed warrant to do this. And I've got the paperwork right here. So, on November the 20th, these fucking armed and dangerous, well, they're armed and dangerous, right? They're fucking outfitted abominations. These fucking outfitted abominations obtain a key by the crime of fraud. And they're so fucking stupid that they can't even use the key to get in. I mean, this is the level of fucking intelligence we are dealing with here. The fucktards don't even know how to use a fucking key to enter. So they completely fucking destroy private property. I mean, completely fucking destroy it. To the point where it can never be used again. So they break in. They do a break and enter. And once they've broken and entered, they have automatic fucking weapons pointed at me. Like, I don't know anything about guns. I mean, why would I? I mean, are you kidding me? But this fucking shit is like automatic weapons that they've got pointed at me. And why would that be? Is it because you're fucking sick in the head and you all need to fucking apply to your doctor for MAID immediately? Well, it's a coffin or a cage. It's a cage for the rest of your life, or it's a coffin, because you can't be here anymore. I was doing my job at the end of August. I'm trying to save my own life here, and you're impeding me from saving my life? That's a fucking crime. You know why I talk to you all the time about what you're up to? Because I'm trying to save your life, and I know you don't understand a fucking thing. No, you understand absolutely nothing. You're the wicked. The wicked don't understand anything. Oh, I might need to mention that scripture is my native language. So once they kidnap me and unlawfully confine me, we're back doing the same shit show. And my assistant is present. An assistant. Now, I certainly hope that this individual does not believe that they are representing me, because they're not. You're there to file paperwork. It's my job to fight for my rights. And it's my job to fight for what's mine. That's not your job, that's my job. You don't represent me, thank you. I'm not dead, and I'm not a corporation. Sorry, we. We are not a corporation, and we are not dead. So here we go again with the same garbage. Fucking charges. Because it's all about the money, right? You've got 3 members of the Bar Guild now. Each and every one of them is making money. They're all committing identity fraud, identity theft. They're all to commit fraud. They're making money attacking me. So apparently there's been an invitation. So again, it's the same shit, right? I'm being intimidated, I'm being threatened, I'm under duress. If I don't do what you're telling me to do, if I don't aid and abet your crimes, then you're going to put me in a cage. So again, you can't, that's not a valid contract. I'm sorry, we're not going to play this little game. How many times do you want to do this? Because twice now you've had no warrant for arrest. Not once, but twice. Gross violations of due process. And we're not here to talk about this gal. We're here to talk about what the fuck you are and what the fuck you're doing. Because I've autographed this, offered a contract. If I sign them all the same, VC, before I have my autograph recorded, because, you know, again, you're being forced to sign something because they're trying to get you into joinder. They're trying to join you to their crimes. Fico actus. So it's used with an autograph to indicate that this woman is under duress. Therefore, they offered a contract. Well, it's rendered null and void. You can't keep doing the same thing. Because this is now the age of information. There's no way for you to get around what you're trying to do here. Oh, and here's this. No, so if I provide for you lawful reasons, not excuses, but lawful reasons of why I won't be complying, and then you continue to do the same fucking thing, and I have warned you that you are not following the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, you then have no immunity at all. You are not immune from going to jail. And I don't know where you're at, but we're here in Canada, and I'm telling you right now, Canada is the most corrupt, one of the most corrupt places you could ever find yourself. They boast about having the most corrupt judiciary in the world. You've got a puppet here pretending to be the president of Service Corporation, calling itself Canada. Then you've got another poisonous puppet out here pretending to be the manager of a public service corporation calling itself the province of British Columbia. And now in the area that I'm in, you've got a puppet pretending to be the manager of the city of Victoria, and then you've got another poisonous puppet over here, a manager pretending to do business as the District of Saanich. All involved in mortgage fraud, all involved in real estate fraud, all involved in fraud on the court, all involved in destroying private property, all involved in stealing private property, kidnapping, unlawful confinement, torture. Essentials of a contract. Competent parties to be of sound mind and capable. Well, I'm not dealing with those who are of sound mind. I've now seen 2 benchers. I've dealt with 2 different females who are acting as a fiction BC prosecution, and then there's been 2 other individuals who you're not representing us, thank you. You're an assistant only. Subject matter jurisdiction. Well, does any of you have any first-hand knowledge of what you are talking about? So who is the witness here? Because the witness has to have first-hand knowledge of what they're talking about. Who is the victim of the alleged crime? You don't have one. You've got fuck all. Legal consideration, so mutual consideration. If the offer is one-sided, and it is, right, it's a one-sided offer. What benefit do I receive from aiding and abetting trespassing on my stolen property, aiding and abetting mortgage fraud, aiding and abetting racketeering, aiding and abetting my own demise. How do I benefit from any of that? That means now I'm fucking parties to all the offenses that are taking place. I don't fucking think so. Mutuality of obligation. Well, so all these public servants they take an oath to uphold the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the Multiculturalism Act, all the international covenants and conventions. They've agreed, that's why they get paid. Any contract with missing the essential elements, well, you can't enforce these contracts. These are offers of service, of which I have declined now twice. Actually, I've declined before, after I get robbed, and then you do this to me because you won't actually stop the robbers from robbing me, and then I have to do your fucking job for you. I don't know where you're at, but we've got absolutely just fucking monsters out here acting as police. Just fucking evil. Well, so if I'm being forced and induced and coerced, we're not doing this. This is a malicious prosecution, right? Because consent, in fact, is what makes the law. Yeah, consent makes the law. A contract is a law between the parties. So you've offered me contracts. This is an offer to contract. So you can't be expecting me to avail myself on December the 12th. Invitation declined. Thanks for the invitation. You need to go find something better to do for yourselves, because now we've got two females acting as benchers who have now included themselves in impeding my right to save my own life. Those are offenses, and you're not above the law. Who told you that you're above the law? What are you? So now you determined yourselves to be sovereign citizens, have you? Is that right? Well, we don't play that game. So I have to go through very quickly a document that I'm writing, that I've written. So now look at this. Now, for the last 3 years, Benjamin Howe and Sandra Dennis have been informed that they're in possession of stolen property. And now this is an article from CBC Investigates, right? This is September 29th, 2024. So reported theft of more than 200 vintage vehicles, creating grief for classic car enthusiasts. So persons out in Ontario acting as the OPP, the Ontario Provincial Police, have seized dozens of classic cars across the province. They say were stolen. Really? So some guy is investigating what's going on and uncovers the tangled criminal case and a trail of devastated owners. Well, I'm the devastated owner of land. I've been robbed of my land. Dozens of cars seized. So here's how these persons acting as police handled this situation. So one of these guys who's ended up buying one of these stolen vehicles, this is how this went down. This is what this fellow has to say. They handed me a letter that basically said if I didn't hand it over, I could be charged with possession of stolen goods. So I didn't have much of a choice but to let him take it. Now, it doesn't look to me like these police officers have gone into any courthouse and proved this claim. There's been a complaint. They've done an investigation. It looks like there was theft, there was fraud, there was forgery. And this is how, well, it's private property, right? It's somebody's household goods, it's private property. That's how my land was stolen. That's how an automobile was stolen from household goods. I'm looking at a notice of seizure. So on the 19th day of March 2020, they are stealing a Ford Focus that belongs to this person right here. Yeah, bankers and their solicitors are stealing land from the true homeowners, along with, so they get help from their buddies out here. Benchers, all members of the BARF. So for the last 3 years, I have been informing 2 criminals in possession of property obtained by a crime that you are in possession of property that's been obtained by a crime. Your land title is fraudulent. Your mortgage is fraudulent. And you need to give me back the property. It's a family asset. And what happens? These 2 savages continually call the savages acting as policy enforcement, and then those fucking savages turn around and assault me. At the end of August, they're surrounding me with the satanic Sanich SWAT swarm, and they're completely destroying another item of household goods, an automobile. Completely fucking destroying it, using deadly weapons, just like they did when they were here on the 20th of November. And then they're stealing it. They fucking stole it after they destroyed it. And then they kidnapped me on lawful confinement. Fucking, they're lying their fucking faces off, because that's who we deal with out here. So it's not rocket science. It's not like I don't understand the process. This is the process. You're in possession of property obtained by a crime if you don't give the property back. I can't keep having the same conversation with these fucking idiots, because I'm barely moving. I'm in survival mode. I've been in survival mode for over 50 years. What is survival mode? Stressful stimuli cause a psychological and sociological response called our survival mode. This mode involves the release of stress hormones and the activation of our stress response systems. Our mind and body become focused on combating danger. Well, there's a conspiracy to end my life here going on. It's not in my head. I'm not making it up. I mean, SWAT team twice. I don't send them. I don't want anything to fucking do with these fucking monkeys. These mindless fucking maggot monkeys. Our mind and body become focused on combating danger. Survival mode originally evolved to help us handle threats. When we cannot escape or fight, which are states of psychological hyperarousal, we are wired to freeze. A state of hyperarousal. Our mind and body become focused on combating danger. Sorry, sounds like a repeat, doesn't it? Both hyperarousal and anyway, these responses are highly effective for brief stressors. However, if the stress is constant, prolonged, survival mode becomes maladaptive. We are wired to freeze, a state of hyperarousal, maladaptive. An adjective not providing adequate or appropriate adjustment to the environment or situation. So there's got to be a lot of folks wondering, I mean, what is she doing? What is she up to? Well, she's frozen. I'm in fear for my life all day, every day. And they've got me that way because they've been committing criminal harassment for years. Every time I'm being robbed, I go down to these fucking detachments, these demonic fucking dog detachments, and I let them know there's a crime in progress. And you should fucking hear the shit that I hear. I mean, we are talking the most useless fucking clueless creatures on the planet. Victoria and Saanich detachments. You need to be defunded and you need to be shut down immediately. You are a fucking danger to the public. A danger to the public. The little bit of good that you do doesn't outweigh the ugliness that you are and the ugliness that you do on a daily basis. Well, I've been homeless for 5 years, Delmanic. You're one of the monkeys that has something to do with this because you're the monkey who was informed in December of 2019 that Intra's private property was being stolen. So when you're in survival mode, you've got limited amount of energy, and if you're using it to maintain basic functions, I have to take care of myself. Those are the basic functions. Well, then how in the fuck are you supposed to get anything else done if you're literally on your own like I am? So The common law, the living law, it sits right there on the witness box. It makes it crystal clear that you are not to act against the life of your neighbor. And yet, that's exactly what's constantly happening to me. Like, they just won't follow their own rules. So don't think that I'm just bringing up the common law like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. This is writing from the police guide. Or like guide dogs, police guide. They're talking about duties of these armed and dangerous monkeys. Common law duties. You're talking about the common law? So common law has nothing to do with legal. Common law is the law of life and the law of living. That's what sits on the witness box of every single whorehouse courtroom. That's what's sitting there. It's the common law. Preserve the peace. You don't do that. You don't have a fuck. Why the fuck are you dressed for war if you're supposed to be preserving the peace? You're armed and you're dangerous and you're fucking stupid. So right there we have a problem. 3 strikes, you're fucking out right there. Protect life and property. You don't do that at all. You don't have anything to do with protecting life or property. Prevent crime. Well, you're criminals, so how the fuck are you going to prevent crime when you are the criminals? Enforce the law. What law are you enforcing? Exactly. Are you enforcing policy and statute and code and bylaws? Because that's not law. Apprehend offenders. Well, you are the offenders, so how is that going for you? I don't know where you're at. Up here in Canada, we've got this thing that they're referring to called the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Now, down in the States, I hear all the time, like, you're violating my 7th Amendment, my 4th Amendment, my 5th Amendment rights. So I did some research here. So what's the 7th Amendment in Canada? It's Section 7 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It's the same thing as what you have down there if you're down there. You got the right to life, liberty, and security. The right not to be deprived thereof except in accordance with the principles of fundamental justice. What's the Canadian 4th Amendment? Well, the 4th Amendment up here in Canada would be Section 8 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which is the right of the people. Now, here we're talking about people. We're not talking about persons. A person is a thing. A person is a citizen. A person is a slave. A person is a subject. A person is a corporation. But here we've got people here. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, papers, and effects shall not be violated by unreasonable searches and seizures, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Now, do you see how they've got persons and things there? Because in the legal world, it's the world of the dead. It's a 2-dimensional world, and you are deemed as a person. You're deemed as dead. That's why they force you to have a representative. Oh, so this is where they're fucked. Because twice they've arrested me, and twice they didn't have an oath or affirmation. They didn't have warrants. You have to have warrants to do an arrest. You have to also have warrants to steal my Master 323. Did you have a warrant, Dean Duffy, to steal my Master 323? Did you have a warrant? Because I know the answer. Did you have a warrant to kidnap me, Dean Duffy? How about you, Dean Murdoch? You're on the fucking police board. The coven, the cabal, the council. Puke. So, just absolute gross violations of due process. But you continue to come at me like I'm the fucking problem here. Yeah, Section 7, right, Section 12. So when they're surrounding me with the SWAT team at August the 29th, I keep saying to them, you are violating my rights under Section 7 and Section 12 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Now, these mindless fucking monkeys, these sovereign fucking citizens, have all taken an oath to uphold the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Now, Section 12 is cruel and unusual treatment or punishment. And so I'm trying to save my life, and you have orchestrated a hate crime to keep me from saving my own life forcing me to aid and abet fucking racketeering, fucking mortgage fraud, trespassing on my stolen private property. Oh, we are brainiacs, aren't we? So if you're not gonna follow your oath, then you're not immune of the law. You're not. And so what are we gonna do with you? What are we gonna do with you? So what constitutes a constitutional violation? Section 7, the right to life, liberty, and security. Section 8, right to be secure against unreasonable searches and seizures. Well, if you're making a false arrest, that's an unreasonable seizure. You're seizing me, you're forcing me into servitude. You can't do that. That's right now, to be arbitrarily detained or in prison. Well, you've done that now. You've done it twice, August and now November. 21 hours torture, 24 hours of torture. The right to counsel. You don't need counsel. You can handle this yourself. You can't have a representative. You're not dead. I tell you what, if they don't understand that you understand what their game is, because when I go through these papers, you should just fucking see the shit that I'm reading. I was reading some other shit tonight, right? It's called an undertaking. An undertaking? Think about that. Think about that word for a second, an undertaking. So right away, my mind goes to an undertaker. These fucktards deal with the dead. They deal with dead corporations and they deal with contracts. That's it. They cannot deal with living men and women. They can't. Yeah, let's see here on this fucking unendorsed warrant. Oh, here it is here. So here down here, I'm reading from this shit show here. I'm reading this down here. An FTA. Well, what does FTA stand for? Failure to appear. Well, only a fucking ghost can appear. Only the dead can appear. They issue a summons? What are you, fucking summoning the dead? What the fuck is going on around here? This is the fucking Twilight Zone? Well, I don't identify as one of the dead, thanks. Well, and when you read all this garbage, oh fuck, you're already guilty. When you read their shit, right to a fair trial, they've already fucking decided that you're guilty. That's why they're taking photographs and fingerprints right away. When these are just allegations, these are just, fucking you're accused, but there's nothing been proven yet. They're taking photographs and fucking fingerprints. You're in fucking handcuffs and fucking shackles. And yet none of this shit has been proven, and you don't have warrants, and you don't actually have a victim. And you want me to play your little game. Not playing. Because malicious prosecution, they do this to me all the time. So over here in Canada, Section 21 of the Criminal Code. Everyone who is a party to an offense, who actually commits it, does or omits to do anything for the purpose of aiding any person to commit it, or abets any person in committing it. They are forcing me to aid and abet crime against myself. I can't do that. I can't be part and parcel to this conspiracy to commit murder. And that's what's happening here. What you're talking gross negligence is happening to me. Like, my health is failing. So they did this to me. Yeah, I'm looking at some paperwork right now. They did this to me last year. On the 29th of November, I go into the fucking demonic degenerate detachment over here because I've got a locksmith at my property to get the trespassers out so I can attempt to save my own life, and I get fucking assaulted immediately. I get fucking surrounded and assaulted immediately. And I was invited to attend a malicious prosecution on the 25th of January 2024. Now, do you think that I went? No, because I signed their little fucking offer of contract with Vico Actus under duress. I'm sorry, thank you for the offer of services. I'll be declining. I don't need your services. You're fucking liars. You're absolute fucking compulsive liars. Yeah, isn't that right, Mr. Winter? Mr. Winter, last year, on the 29th of November, you assaulted me with your fucking lies. You threatened me. You intimidated me. Why would you do that? What is wrong with you? Well, I know what's wrong with you. So these are adhesion contracts. Do you get that? Like these contracts right here that they offer you, this whorehouse paperwork, this is an adhesion contract. They need you to consent to services because the contract makes the law. This contract is you getting fucked up your arse and then making a whole bunch of money while they're doing it to you. Listen, I've lost my son, my home, both house cars. I've lost everything. Okay, so get this. I was talking about this before. This is from the Weasel website, govbc.ca. Crown Counsel and Defense Counsel. Crown Counsel is a liar who presents the case against the person. A person is a thing. It's dead. It's a corporation. Charged. Oh, a charge. Oh, like when you go to the store. There's a charge, and then you pay? Isn't that cute? Crown Counsel, no such thing. That's a fiction. Our public servants, no, you're not. No. You're members, you have a bar card. You've taken a secret oath to the bar. You can't be in two places at the same time. You're not public servants. You're servants of the Crown. And the Crown is a private corporation. It's a private for profit. They do not represent the police or the victim. Oh, really? What the fuck? Well, so here in Canada, it's the pigs who lay the charges. It's the pigs who lay the charges, so the pigs are pretending to be the victim of the crime? So they don't represent the police or the victim. So who then is accusing me of trying to save my own life? Like, you're not going to turn an inalienable right into a crime. I have a right to save my own life. I have a right to take back the land and the property. It's stolen by an act of fraud on the court. Can you believe how fucking stupid they are? Every single court case has been based upon fraud. No bar attorney has any legislative authority to prosecute anyone in any courtroom. The bar attorneys do not know law. They don't practice law. They don't adhere to the common law. They cannot sit at the bench. You can't call yourself a judge. You're a bencher. A bencher is a banker. It's all about the money. They live in the color of law. No one masquerading as a judge or a government official can produce proof of their delegation of authority. It's so fucking noisy here. Color of law. Color of law means the appearance or semblance without the substance of legal right. Misuse of power possessed by virtue of state law. It's not law. It would be legal fucking bullshit and made possible only because the wrongdoer is clothed with authority. Of state is action taken under the color of law. Color of something. Like not really. Pretends to be. Fiction. Disillusionment. Color of law. This is from the Dictionary of Canadian Law, 6th edition, page 51. Mere semblance of a legal right. An action done under color of law is one done with the apparent authority of law, but actually in contravention of law. Color of law. This is from Rogues and Donovan. All codes, rules, and regulations are unconstitutional and lacking in due process. Well, if there's no due process, then you just need to fucking let it go and leave it alone. This is from the fucking bullshit website here. Yes, Public Service Corporation, identifying itself as British Columbia. Basic principles of Canadian criminal law. Oh, really? Presumption of innocence. No. You need to go in and research the 12 assumptions and presumptions that these fucking maggots work under. There's no presumption of innocence. When you read the documents I've got in front of me here, it's quite obvious that I've already been fucking found guilty. I've already been found guilty. Due process. No. No such thing. I just already explained. Twice I have been fucking assaulted, meaning arrested, without warrants. Twice they've done this. and twice they've destroyed private property. That's the crime of mischief. That's the crime of vandalism. Independent judiciary, no. They're not independent. They're all members of the bar. They oath to the bar. They're not public servants. Openness and accessibility of court. Okay, so here's what's happening now in Canada. Because of COVID, they now have gone to this system where everyone is in a remote location. So the bencher is in a remote location. The bencher could be at home. The fraud acting as the prosecutor could be at home. And the alleged counselor, defense counselor, could be at home. They no longer do any of this in the public. It's all done in secret. When this happened to me, when my son was kidnapped and chosen immediately for trafficking, I fought for him and I was treated the same way. And back then, this was in 2010, everybody was in the same room. Like, you got hauled in your fucking shackles into one of these whorehouse rooms, and you actually got to see, you got to go eye to eye, physically all in the same room, and the public could be present for what they were doing. That's not the case anymore, so there is no openness and no accessibility. So this is all fucking lies. Equality before the law. You know what? I'm just so sick and tired of the fucking bullshit that you spin all the time, you public servants. So here's what I'm talking about with identity theft. So any person who, with intent to defraud any person, falsely represents himself or herself to be some other person, living or dead, real or fictitious. This is why you can't have a representative. This is why you can't, because that's exactly what they're doing. It's called impersonation. They're impersonating you, and you allow it. And they're going to make money impersonating you. They're going to make decisions for you without your say-so. They're talking about you behind your back. They're making decisions about your life and what's going to happen to you. You know what I heard on November the fucking 21st? That there's going to be a trial. Well, not without my say-so, there isn't. And who decided that? I'm hearing that from my assistant, that you're going to run a trial. Are you? With what? Is that so you can all make money? And you figure you're going to be my representative, that you're going to be speaking for me? I don't need you to speak for me, thank you. I'm quite capable. That's what they're doing. It's a crime. Impersonation appears as a crime in the Canadian Criminal Code with the meaning simply of impersonation. That's what they're doing. It's impersonation. Oh, but how come that fucking criminal code doesn't apply to you? Barf, member. What is identity fraud in Canada? Section 403(1) of the code makes it an offense to fraudulently impersonate another person, living or dead. Well, they've already deemed you to be dead. I'll show you something. You see on this contract right here? You see how those names are in all capital letters, like an estate, like dead, like you're already dead. Why do they write names like that? Why do they write your name like that when the rest of the document is written in English, but your name is written in legalese? Yes. In order to gain property or financial benefit. So the bencher and the prosecutor and my assistant are going to be gaining financial benefit from what they're trying to do to me. And my assistant believes that they represent us. No, I'm afraid I won't be agreeing to that. Listen, I can't be a part and parcel to your crimes. I can't be a part and parcel. I can't aid and abet your identity fraud so you can fucking get rich off of jacking me and keeping me off of my land and keeping me out of my house, which has now gone on for 5 years. According to information from the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, as of July 31st, 2021, more than 32,000 Canadians reported they were victims of fraud in 2021, losing $130 million to the crime. So let's talk about what this is. This is a trust. In its most basic essence, a contract, that's what it is, it's a contract. It's a juridical person, it's a natural person. It's a contract that covers how the assets in the trust, called the res of the trust, will be administered by the trustees. I am the trustee of this contract. I am the attorney in fact. I'm the attorney in fact. I should say we, not I. In order to benefit the beneficiaries. The grantor is the one who creates all the rules in the trust. That's my spouse. And the trustees agree to follow the grantor as they have set forth these instructions. The trust indenture, when it comes to a private trust, this is a private trust, this is a private family matter, is never shown to anyone. Well, unfortunately, I don't have that benefit. Because I'm worried about other folks who are about to lose everything that they worked so hard to have. Because this is now commonplace in Canada, that mortgage-free homes are being stolen from the true owner about twice a week. The only information that is given out to anyone is what is found in this certificate of trust. Certificate of trust means basically this is proof that a trust exists, and this is all the information that you need to contract with it, because this natural person can contract. The trust is a separate person in law. So this person, this separate person, this right here, created by my spouse, protects me and our assets. But it didn't, because we've got mortgage fraud happening here. So Section 385 in the Criminal Code makes it a defense for you to induce a purchaser, mortgagee, or creditor to accept a mortgage, but then conceal from them any encumbrance on the title. So there's been 2 fraudulent mortgages on my home, on the land. Happens all the time. And how did that happen? Well, forgery, right? Identity theft. My identity as the attorney in fact of this natural person was stolen. And then the fraudsters just fucking sold everything and ran off with all the money, leaving me for dead. To, money laundering, disguising the origins of funds made through criminal activity to incorporate into the regular financial system. So that's what they're doing right now. Benjamin Howe and Senator Dennis have been doing that for the last 3 years, actually 4 years. So Section 262 of the Criminal Code of Canada, impeding attempt to save life. Every person is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term not more than 10 years, or is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction, who prevents or impedes or attempts to prevent or impede any person. We're not a person. We are people. We are the peculiar people who is attempting to save their own life. I've been trying to do that for years. And every single piece of shit who gets in my way, who will not listen to me, who will not do what I'm telling you to do, you don't understand that I'm trying to save your life too. That's why I shove that living law down your throats. Because if you're in my life, or you have anything to do with my life, and you're breaking the law, then I have an obligation, duty, and responsibility. Due process of the law. Let's go through how you need to have a warrant for arrest. An arrest without warrant has never been lawful except in those cases where the public security requires it, and this has only been recognized in felony or indictable offenses and in breaches of the peace committed in the presence of the officer. Well, that never happened. I don't breach the peace. I don't go around disturbing the peace. I've never disturbed the peace in my life. I never will. No person saw me committing a crime. I'm not guilty of criminal harassment. I have a job to do. I'm under contract. I'm under 2 contracts. I'm under this contract, and I'm about to pick up a Bible. I'm under this contract. I'm under contract. I have to do this. Due process of law. It must not be forgotten that there can be no arrest without due process of law. An arrest without warrant has never been... Oh, sorry. That's a double. An illegal arrest is an assault and battery. The person so attempted to be restrained of his liberty has the same right to use force in defending himself as he would in repelling any other assault and battery. So one of the conditions they placed on me is that I'm not allowed to have a gun. So why would that be? Why would that be? Benchers? You two females acting as benchers? You're not judges, thank you. You're adjudicators. You're basically court clerks. One of you is known for being kind. Oh, I do my research. I do my homework. If you're going to be involved in my life, I get to be involved in yours. Each person has the right to resist an unlawful arrest. As such, in such a case, the person attempting to arrest stands in the position of a wrongdoer and may be resisted by the use of force, as in self-defense. So I was charged with resisting and obstructing because I tried to stop the crimes they were committing. And now I'm the one who's been fucking charged. Similarly, a person cannot be convicted of resisting a peace officer in the execution of their duty unless the officer was acting strictly within the limits of their powers and duties. If the officer makes an unlawful arrest, then there is a common law right to resist that arrest. But I'm the one charged. Under Section 279 of the Criminal Code, every person commits an offense who kidnaps a woman with intent to cause the woman to be confined or imprisoned against their will. Right there. To cause the woman to be unlawfully sent or transported out of Canada against the woman's will, or to hold the woman for ransom or to service against the woman's will. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So, under Section 279, every person commits an offense who kidnaps a woman with intent to hold the woman for ransom or to service against the woman's will. There's a ransom here of $500. If I don't play their game, if I don't accept service, right? Service. They're holding me to service. That's a crime. They kidnapped me. They unlawfully fucking took me so they could force this shit onto me. Not playing. So here in Canada, they've got, it's a summary conviction or it's like a straight indictable offenses. So summary conviction offenses are usually 2 years less a day in jail, and there's usually a fine attached to it. Penalty for forcible confinement, I'll read it to you right here. If you're convicted of the indictable offense of forcible confinement, you can be sentenced to up to 10 years in prison. If the Crown, no such thing, that's a fiction, elects to proceed with the charge by summary conviction, you are liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 18 months. So I was editing a document, but that's why I was doing this, because they just keep coming at me. I can't read this whole thing to you. So they're guilty of criminal harassment. So September the 5th, when they started contacting me and coming to the door here and pounding on the fucking door and disturbing the peace of everybody around here and disturbing my peace when the door is clearly marked do not disturb. You don't have an endorsed warrant. You can't fucking come to the door. You can't harass me. You can't keep... I had to block the municipality of Saanich number because some filthy fucking pig from that criminal organization was calling me at like fucking 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. Oh, can you imagine? That's criminal harassment. Criminal harassment, more commonly known as stalking, while I'm being gang stalked by the profane who are acting in roles of public servant. Well, that's what they're doing. And now that I don't have wheels, I can't even leave. So they're committing the act of torture. It's a crime in Canada, torture. Criminal Code, Section 269.1. Every official or every person acting at the instigation of or with the consent or acquiescence of an official who inflicts torture on any other person, I'm not a person, is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 14 years. Torture means any act or omission by which severe pain or suffering, whether physical or mental, is intentionally inflicted. Torture. They're torturing me. I need to go home. So here I'm reading something from a court of appeal in Ontario. It's the trespass. It's a trespass of inflicting intentional mental and emotional distress. There's got to be 3 elements. The offender's conduct is flagrant and outrageous. The conduct is calculated to harm, and the conduct causes the victim to suffer a visible and provable illness. Well, I can't move. I have severe kidney damage now. Severe kidney damage. And I'm in fear for my life, so I'm in freeze mode. Like I'm frozen. Like I can't move. I can't do anything other than just take care of my most basic of needs. Yeah, and then I just had some documents here that I had posted because I'm going to have to. So here's a text message from a male identifying itself as a Sergeant Whitaker, with the police. I'm sorry, I don't recognize that mumbo jumbo. What are you talking about? The police? That's a fiction. A sergeant? What the fuck is that? Again, a fiction. We have a warrant for your arrest? No, you don't. No, I'm afraid your warrant is not endorsed. You have no warrant? You can't fucking make a move, bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. It should be witch, shouldn't it? Witch Whitaker. A male witch. Respond to this text that I know you have received it. No, I don't need to respond to you. I don't respond to gang stalkers. I don't respond to indictable crime-committing criminals. I don't respond to your hate crime. I don't respond to your uttering threats. I don't respond to your fucking intimidation. You filthy fucking pig. You are under arrest. We aren't going away. Oh, am I? Oh, okay, well, where's the endorsed warrant? Witch Whitaker? Because you need to have an endorsed warrant. And if you don't have an endorsed warrant, you're fucked, bitch. Let's see what we got you on here, Witch Whitaker. We've got forcible entry, Section 72 of the Criminal Code of Canada. We've got you on break and enter, Section 98 and Section 348 of the Criminal Code. We've got you on common assault, Section 265 and 266. We've got you on assault with We've got you on assault with a weapon or causing bodily harm, Section 267. We've got you on kidnapping and unlawful confinement, Section 279, 1.1 and 2. We've got you on unlawfully in a dwelling. You fucking broke and entered because you're too fucking stupid to use a key. Unlawfully in a dwelling, Section 349, possession of break-in instruments. I saw with my own two beautiful eyes all the fucking shit you brought with you when you brought the fucking SWAT swarm into the building to completely fucking embarrass yourselves. Hey, Dean Murdoch. Hey, Dean Duthie. Careers are over. Career suicide. You did it to yourselves. I have nothing to do with how you choose to fucking behave. You brought shit with you to break in here. You should be aware there's about 5 minutes of that footage that's saved perpetually. Even if one of these useless agencies didn't get over here and pick up that CCTV footage. Possession of break-in instruments, Section 351 and 352 of the Criminal Code. So what are you going to say for yourself? Because I'm moving forward with a summary conviction. So you broke property. So now you're guilty of mischief. That's Section 430 of the Criminal Code defines mischief as occurring when a person renders a property useless, dangerous, ineffective, or operative. Well, that's exactly what you did to the lock here. Why would you do that? Alters or destroys the property, interrupts, obstructs, or interferes with the lawful enjoyment, use, or operation of any property. And then when the private property owner went over to the fucking demonic dog detachment here, were you fucking ugly to that victim? Yeah, you were actually. You refused to pay for the damage you did. Because right here, I have a note here. I was handed the bill for the damage that you caused, Witch Whitaker. That's going to be a problem for you, Witch Whitaker. Let's see here, Witch Whitaker. I'll be moving forward with a summary judgment conviction because you're guilty of vandalism as well. Let's see, you're under summary conviction. That's 6 months. Well, we'll be adding up all those offenses and you'll be serving them. So let's see here. We've got 6 months for vandalism. And then, let's see here, we've got you've got torture. That's 14 years. criminal harassment, intimidation. It's not looking good for you. You need to quit. So you're also guilty of nuisance, common nuisance. Every person is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 2 years, or is guilty of an offense punishable on summary conviction who commits a common nuisance, and by doing so causes physical injury. Well, you caused me physical injury and you did it on purpose. So nuisance. You're guilty of nuisance, you're guilty of vandalism, and so those summary convictions are stacked on each other. Like they get stacked on you, like you don't serve those sentences at the same time. They get stacked up on you. Pictures of all the fucking damage you did. Law maxims. Those who are silent appear to consent. Applies to everybody in the party. Law maxim. Those who do not disapprove approve. Well, I disapprove of everything that's fucking going on here. So here's something else I wrote on one of these documents here because I have to send this off. My God, it's getting late. My fucking phone doesn't die. The autograph of a foreign woman, that's me, recorded vico actus Latin for having been forced, having been compelled, and I'm in need of protection from high-risk offenders. And I know the law. Consensus facit legem. Sorry if I said that wrong. Consent makes the law. A contract is a law between the parties which can acquire force only by consent. Consent, in fact, is what makes the law. And I maintain and reserve in perpetuity natural and common law rights, knowing all federal, provincial statutes, bylaws, administrative codes, private bar court rules are constructed as contracts. Canadian citizens acting in color of office roles of fiction cannot force any of my people into performance using intimidation, coercion, threats, duress, discrimination, extortion, racism, and hate. I deny the offer of service by oath perjurers, high-risk offenders, in fact war criminals, November 21st, 2024. That's when this invitation to attend December the 12th was extended. Conditional offer of public service does not meet essentials of a contract. Persons acting as adjudicator, prosecutor are not of sound mind and capable, cannot prove subject matter jurisdiction, offered no legal consideration, refuse mutuality of agreement and obligation, therefore considerations of release are unenforceable. Don't you fucking come at me again. Don't you fucking send the SWAT team over here. There's been absolute gross violations of due process. You've got abso-fucking-lutely nothing. You've got no victim. You've got no fucking crime. You're wasting fucking court time. You're guilty of identity theft. So you can all make money while you continue to fucking, well, we've got conspiracy to commit murder. That's why you're stealing the land. You're stealing the house. And you're all involved in all of this. Equality rights. Listen to this. This is Section 15 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Every individual. Well, you don't want to be an individual either, because an individual is a corporation. Is equal before and under the law, and has the right to equal protection and equal benefit of the law without discrimination. Well, that's never been afforded to me. I'm now having dizzy spells like I've never had in my life, because I'm telling you that I have severe kidney damages. Severe kidney damage from what they've done to me, not once but twice. August and November. The same fucking shit. Assault and fucking battery. Assault with fucking deadly weapons. So have you noticed that none of it's worked? Shit stains. You pathetic, profane, puke, public satanic servants. Have you noticed that nothing that you've done to me has worked? You've targeted, you fucking gang stalked, you've fucking stolen everything, you've destroyed everything. Has any of it worked? Does it look to you like yes, I'm not doing well, but I'm still standing. Barely, but still standing. You need to stop it. I need to go home. That is my home. It is a gift. It is paid for. It belongs to me. That's the Honorable House of Daly. It has been my property since January of 2003, and it still is my property. And I'm not even going to fucking ask you if you understand, because you are the wicked. You've identified yourself as the wicked, and I know that the wicked understand nothing. Daniel 12:10. The wicked hate the righteous. That's why you hate me. That's why you're trying to end my life with all your garbage. So on December the 12th, I won't be there. You knock yourselves out. I don't give a fuck what your policy or your procedure is. I don't care. Stop wasting my time. Stop wasting my energy. You need to go fucking suck off of someone else, because we aren't having it. We are finished with you in your fucking Babylonian beast fucking bullshit. And now it's time for the enforcement, right? Because everyone's equal. Isn't that right? Isn't that what you're trying to fucking pass off to everyone? That everyone's equal? Everyone has equal benefit of the law without discrimination? Hey, those are your fucking rules. You took an oath to uphold them. That's what you have to do. And so I can't do this multiple times a day. So I got a low battery. I got a low phone battery. So if I don't shut this off, I want to lose this live. Thank you everyone who listened. Thank you everyone who joined me. I hope that you're okay. I hope that you're not targeted, and I hope that you're not being gang stalked. Keep your head held high. Keep your shoulders back no matter what they do to you. Stay strong and be strong. Right? Be salt and be light. And if you need counseling, you go and you look in your scriptures. You don't look to anybody else. You go and you get into the Word. Read the Word. It will strengthen your soul, which is what's going to give you a sound mind.